Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are doing good. So today we'll try to explore more about scripted REST API. So in my previous video, we have understood what is the scripted REST API and some use cases as well. So today we are going to understand some more, use cases, which is quite helpful. And I'm going to implement real time, use case. So let's get started. So let's navigate to scripted REST API form. Okay. So name I'm giving demo test. Okay, and API ID will be populating automatically. I'm going to save it and we'll start creating resources. Okay, so let's create resource. So for first I'm giving as test1. Okay, it is loading. Yeah, so the same thing I'm going to paste into relative path because the relative paths should be different for all. So I'm going to create more resources, so I'm providing relative path as well. So I am going to let you know one new thing here, which is query params. Okay, so let me give you a brief about query parameters. Okay, so query meant to search, and parameter is a value that you can set to refine your search. So for example, if you come here and if you go to incident table, for example, so when I'm going to here I come here, so you could see here this is searching incident. This is our ServiceNow instance, right? Here we are going to the incident table. Maybe we can set parameter here like active is true. Let me set to that parameter. Active is true. So you could see here there's one parameter has been set as active equals to true and sys first row equals to something like that. So this is query parameter. So so whenever we have to define our search, we can use query params. So this is query param. So let me create one variable here first. I am giving name as query param only. So we are having this request and response object, right? So by using request, if you see here, this query param are the object for this API. So you can use path params. We'll try to understand in further videos how can we use path params and why we use it. And today we are going to focus on query param. So this is simply query param. You can define query to define your search. Okay. So now how we use it. Okay, why we use it. So let's try to understand that part. So here we have defined this query param, request.query param. Now by using this object we can do our stuff. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to define one more variable as table name. Okay, and here I'm going to have query param dot table name. Okay, if you want we can define one more, like let's define sysID. So query.param.sysID. So these are the parameters. So basis on this two, table name and sysID, we can able to filter the data. So if you want to have data from incident table, we can have here incident table in this into this parameter, and we can have sysID of any record and we can able to search that, query that, right? So here I'm going to define one variable called body, and here I'm going to have this assign into this variable. So table name equals to this table name. Okay, and again I want sys id. So I have stored this table name and sys id into this variable. I'm just returning this variable, or you can set also into the response body. Okay, so return body here. Let's save it. Okay, so we have created first test, first API. Let's see how it looks. So our API. So here in query parameter, you can have that table name. You can pass any table name. Let me pass incident here. And another parameter you have sysID. Okay. So again, you can pass any sysID here. So let me take sysID of this record. Pass it here. Now if I send, you could see here in result this sysID. Okay, so I have not given any space, so let me give that as well. Okay, and sysID. Now let's save it. Okay. So here you could see, now you are able to understand table name, incident, like whatever we have passed here, that has been come in result in body, and this sysID, like whatever we have passed it here. So here we have set our query, and basis on that you can see the result. Okay, so this is how we can use our query parameter. So now what we are going to do is, here we have defined query param table, and we are putting any table, and in sysID we are going to put sysID of any record. Let's feed some of the detail, like whatever table name you are passing here and sysID of record will fit some of the information from that record. Okay, so first for that we need to glide a table, right? So let's glide the table, and here table name, we are taking this table name, like whatever parameter will be passed in the table name, that should be passed here, right? And now I'm just putting add query, and here I am running while loop gr.next, and here what I'm going to do is I'm defining one JSON object. Okay, and so now I'm going to define one condition, like whenever our sysID will matches to gr.sysID, like whatever table is being glided, like whatever table will be passed as a parameter here, and in that, under that table, if sysID matches like whatever we are providing, then it should have this information. So I'm going to use this obj object dot sort description. First I am fetching the sort description. So here obj dot sort description equals to, I need to use this object gr dot get value. I'm going to get value from this table for that respective record. So here I need to pass backend value of the sort description. And now I'm going to, let me pass it here, number dot number. So number is common all across the table, right? Number and sort description. So that's why I'm taking all those generic thing which I can get, almost all the tables. So number, sort description. Let me take something else. Okay, let's take description. Obj dot description equals to gr dot get value, need to pass description here. So like whatever you want to see, all the fields you can take it. If you are taking any reference field, so like location, so you need to take like this location. You have to use here get display value. Okay, get display value, pass here backend value of location. Okay, now what we are going to do is we have like assign all the values into our variable by using JSON. Now we have to return it, right? So instead of returning, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it into the response body here, right? So like whatever response we are getting as part of this API, I'm going to set body of that. So I need to pass this as an object. That's all. Okay. So let's save it. So what error is coming here? You could see here conditional expression instead saw an assignment. So it is not conditional. I mean, if is the conditional statement, but we have not used like this. So this is for comparing even sys id is equal to this. I was doing the assignment. By using this, you can have, I mean, you do the assignment, but I'm using if expression. So this will be conditional expression, right? So we need to put like this, save it. Now we are good to test. Let's test it. So this is our API. In query parameter, I'm going to pass first of all incident, and then maybe I'll pass problem or any other. So here in sysID, I need to take sysID of any, or record. So I'm going to take sysID of this record, pass it here, click on send. Okay, something wrong has been done. What is not defined? Okay, so we missed to remove this code, right? So that code was from previous. So we have not removed that code and body was not defined. That's why we are getting that error. Now let's send it. Okay, so now you could see, guys, incident number, we have passed this ID of this. So you could see here, number you could see, so description, you could see, location, see here. So we faced all the information, like whatever information we needed here for this incident. Like I passed the table name, I passed the sys ID, and I got the information. Now let's navigate to problem table and we'll try to fetch the problem ticket. So guys, here you need to pass, I am copying this sys ID. So here whatever we have defined the backend value, if it matches, then only we would be able to see the information. So here I am replacing this incident table as problem and I have copied, I think I have taken sys ID of this problem. Let me open and take sys ID of this problem. So let pass here. Sorry guys, what I'm doing, problem. So table name is problem and sys ID of this record. Okay, so now let's click on send. So you could see this problem number, right? Sort description global, and there's no description, so it is showing as null, and there's no location as well, I hope. Okay, so location is not on the form. If I add that quickly, so let's see, maybe there is no location also for this problem. That's why we are seeing like this. Okay, let me add it quickly. Okay, So there's no location, guys. So now we have fetched the information dynamically, like you can pass here. That's why we use query parameter. So you see here, this is also kind of query resource ID is something. So this is how we refine our search. So here I'm passing parameter, right? So this table name I'm passing this problem table, and this ID I'm passing this ID of any record. So this is query. Basis on that we are getting our result. So now let's do something, but let's try to implement one more example. So so let's fetch incident for, so I'm going to filter, okay, like based on some condition. So whatever this state is new for the incident, I'm going to fetch it, okay. So I'm going to take this in an encoded query. So I'm copying query, and quickly I'm going to create new resource, or maybe I'll modify this one only. So here I need to glide the table as incident, or you can pass also by this only, that is not a problem. But here I'm fetching only the record for incident, or maybe let's try to do it dynamically only. So table name, here I'm going to set encoded query, okay. So gr dot add encoded query, and here I'm going to pass the encoded query which I have taken from the incident table, okay. Query, okay. So here I am going to remove this, not required, and here I'm going to define one array, okay. So here I'm going to put incident array, okay. So this is incident array I have taken. So I'm going to push the values here, okay. So this incident array I'm going to use later, I'll show you. So I have defined here incident array. I am dynamically passing the table name from the query params by using this query param. And I have given here encoded query. I'm querying it while getting next. I am defining here one object, okay. And I'm going to remove this condition, not required, because I am going to fetch all the incident which are having state as new, right? So yeah, so this object is required because we are going to store this many values. So I have defined this 4 values which I'm going to fetch it. That's okay. Now I need to push this value into array, right? So by using this array which we have defined, dot push, and we can push the object, okay. And now after the while loop we can set the response body, okay. Yeah, that's all. Now let's save it, and this API will fetch all the incident whose state is new. So let's run it quickly. So we are having 20, okay. So in query parameter I'm just going to pass table name. So I'm going to pass it here incident send. So only one incident is being passed here, okay. So why it is so, let's check it. Okay, sorry guys. So here we don't have to pass object, or else like whatever result you will getting here for the first, it will be passing here. We need to pass this array actually. Now we'll be getting all the incident which are having its state is new. So let's save it again, send it again. So now you could see we are having lot many incident. So here maybe we can add state and we can check over there. So I'm going to use obj.state equals to gr dot get display value I'm going to use, and here I'm going to pass the backend value of the state. Okay, let's save it and quickly check once again. So for this incident, we are not able to see the incident, right? Not able to see the state. So I have added that parameter attribute as well. So here see, state is new. So for all the incident, state is new. So you can change the parameter here. So let's have only active. So you can get all the active. So you can change the query and you can fetch the information however is required. So this is the advantage of using scripted REST API, guys. So see, state is in progress. We have removed all the state we could see here, all the active incident. So maybe you can check for that also. I mean, a lot of things you can do it by using a scripted REST API. So I hope you guys liked my videos. If you like my videos, do not forget to subscribe my channel. I'm going to make a lot of videos on ServiceNow development. I'm going to make videos on other module as well. So guys, stay tuned for more videos.